Hello, today we are going to discuss the play The Pillars of Society, written by the famous Norwegian playwright Johann Henrik Ibsen. The Pillars of Society was written in 1877. It cost Ibsen 2 years of unremitting labor and several rewritings. He labored over the Pillars of Society from 1875 to 1877, the longest period he had devoted to any play except Emperor and Galilean. The result is a play whose thought is so profound and clear, whose craftsmanship is so natural and easy, that it puts to shame alike the emptiness of the contemporary writing and the turgidity of the serious British drama of the next 2 decades. The Pillars of Society is built on a fairly simple irony that those who appear as pillars of society are not in fact pillars at all, and those who appear as rebels or even criminals are in fact the true carriers of the spirit of truth and the spirit of freedom. The play attacks respectable hypocrites and is a trumpet blast calling society to account. The title is bold advertisement of Ibsen's serious satirical purpose. He operates it like a battering ram that pounds and pounds away at the thick wall of cant and hypocrisy with which society has surrounded itself fully. The Pillars of Society is the history of Karsten Bernick, a pillar of society, who, in pursuance of the duty of maintaining the respectability of his father's firm of shipbuilders, has averted a disgraceful exposure by allowing another man to bear the discredit not only of a love affair in which he himself had been the sinner, but of a theft which was never committed at all, having been merely alleged as an excuse for the firm being out of funds at a critical period. Bernick is an abject slave to the idealizings of Rorlund, a schoolmaster, about respectability, duty to society, good example, social influence, and so on. Bernick's life has been a series of successes which have resulted mainly from his dishonest dealings. Though Lona Hazel, Bernick's former beloved, knows that the whole of Bernick's work and life has its origin in lies and in the betrayal of love, yet chiefly out of her concern for his inner being, she demands that he should tell the truth. Bernick, toward the end of the play, confesses his crimes, he reforms himself, and left at the end of the play on the brink of a new era, he thanks Lona, saying, "Thank you, Lona, you have saved what was best in me and for me." Unquote. Lona admits that she wants Bernick to confess his crime because she wants that the hero of her youth and you should stand free and true. Unquote. Lona's determination that truth be told at all costs for the good of everyone's soul has a touch of the fanatical. Ibsen presented a similar character more critically in Gregor's Verle. In The Wild Duck, Egan quotes an unsigned comment which appeared in the Hawk in 1989. Hawk commented on the ending of the play like this: "If Consul Bernick, instead of whining and repenting and bringing the play to a happy conclusion, had simply defied his enemies and rather patronizingly accepted the deputation with the air that it was only precisely which he deserved, the pillars of society would have been a little more lifelike and less stage land, unquote. When Ibsen was writing The Pillars of Society, he had an optimistic and naive faith in the liberating effect which truth would have on the life of the individual. The play is a criticism on Rorlund's wordy, narrow Norwegianism. There are three women in the play for whom Rorlund's ideals have no fascination because they know quite well that the society is a society of hypocrites who cover themselves under the mask of morality and idealism. These three women are assigned prominent place in the play. All three of them are rebels, in fact or in spirit, against the social system that would stifle their natures. First, there is the actress's daughter, Dina, who wants to go to America because she hears that people there are not good, for she is heartily tired of good people, since it is part of their goodness to look down on her because of her mother's disgrace. When Johan returns from America, Dina inquires him about the state of people living there. It is not only Dina, but readers also can feel the pain she is facing in society, which is inhabited by the people who are so very moral and proper, because such people want others to be proper and perfect at any cost. The second free woman in the play is Aunt Maratha. She has already sacrificed her happiness and wasted her life in conforming to the Rorlund ideal of womanliness, and she earnestly advises Dina not to commit that folly, but to break her engagement with Rorlund and elope promptly to America, as she too believes that the skies are loftier than here, a freer air plays about your head, unquote. Maratha advises Dina to free herself from the tyranny of customs and ideals, and this will help her in remaining true to her own self, and only then she can develop her own individuality. Otherwise, the morals of her own society will crush her individuality. The third is a naturally free woman, Lona, who has shaped her fingers at the current ideals all her life, and it is her presence that at last encourages the liar Bernick to break with the ideals by publicly telling the truth about himself. Lona has a definite purpose in the play. She means to help Bernick to find himself again, to rediscover the person he once was when he was living in a freer and larger community in London and Paris. It was a time when he dared to be in love with Lona. When he returned home, he betrayed that love in order to ensure his own financial and social standing. Disloyalty and deceit have since served as the dubious ground on which he has based his role as public benefactor and establishment figure in the society. Through this play, Ibsen intends to show how the hypocritical morality of society affects the lives of the individuals. The focus is on the individual, the liberation and the renaissance of the individual. The focus is on Bernick, who is both pillar and product of his society, of a community of people who have been young together and have matured or gone rotten. Ibsen, like Charles Dickens, paints society as representative of a large and varied number of social tensions, the prime objective is to strike a reformist balance between the individual and the society. The play represents the oppressiveness of small town life. Thank you.